just wanted to let you guys know what's going on out there. How thick is the jungle? How thick is the weeds? Hey guys, what's up? You know who it is. Back for another update video for the month of February as the Toronto Real Estate Board just released their numbers. I gotta tell you, it's like a wild jungle out there, okay? Give me a machete so I can chop through all these vines and wild plants so that we can get to the path and figure out where we're heading next. Because honestly, we've never been here before. With record-breaking numbers, new sales territory, and just demand like we've never ever seen before. But we'll get a little bit more into the weeds right after this, guys. Okay, and we're back. And so since the last update video that we did about a month ago, a few small things have actually happened. And when I say small, there's lots of air quotes there. But the Bank of Canada finally pulled the trigger and raised their overnight rate by 25 basis points, which isn't a whole lot, but it does signal that they're headed in that direction, that they're looking to raise interest rates for the rest of the year, probably a few more times. And we saw hints of that happening when the banks were starting to raise their rates about 1 or 2 weeks ago, because we had clients who were in the middle of their pre-qualification process where they had not purchased something yet, and then they found that their interest rates were changed slightly. And this was happening even before the Bank of Canada's announcement. And of course, this is to battle the crazy, wild, overgrown inflation that's happening, right? Frankly, I would have liked to have seen them raise interest rates a little bit earlier, but probably January would be a little bit too early and it would shock the market a bit too much. But from a housing perspective, we definitely needed that interest rate hike, even though I don't think 25 basis points is going to curb demand very much here in the Greater Toronto region anyways, but it's symbolic, it means something. If you haven't quite felt it yet at the gas pumps, well, you're going to start feeling it. We're starting to see $1.60, $1.70 a liter. These are numbers that are unheard of. We've never seen this before. I'm having trouble computing these numbers right now. And so back to interest rates, I think a lot of people are asking that question right now. Try to look for a fixed rate. Should we try to lock into something, or should we just continue the course and go with the variable rates and hope that it doesn't increase too much? Because as we know, there is a price difference and there's a spread in between variable rates and fixed rates. But I would definitely urge you to consult with your bank, your lender, your mortgage agent to see what they think in terms of arranging your new or your existing mortgage. And we've got some crazy wild board news halfway across the world who's trying to bully another nation by moving in with military force to try to take over Ukraine. Of course, you guys all know who it is. Who goes and invades another independent and democratic nation to try to take them over in 2022? Who does that? And remember the saying when we grew up, guys, bullies never prosper. Unless we're talking about Toronto real estate, because yeah, bullies do end up getting the house oftentimes. Anyway, generally, I do try to stay away from political matters and items. I'm not that political myself. I really want to try to keep it to business. I want to keep it strictly professional. Keeping you guys informed and maybe making you crack a smile here and there. Didn't work? Alright. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So here's a few numbers to whet your palate or to freak the hell out of you, depending on which side of the fence you're sitting on. But we just broke a whole new record here in the Toronto and GTA region for average home prices, where it hit a ridiculous $1.334 million, 544. So basically over 1.3 million as an average. Which of course is clearly being driven up by detached properties, which essentially have no limit. We're seeing homes out in the York region area going for $2 million now. And so prices are just being driven up just every damn where. And this is a really absurd gain and appreciation in properties, because not that long ago, pretty much about a month ago, when the Toronto Real Estate Board came out with their projections, they said that the average home price was going to be around 1.225 million as an average for the year in 2022. Now, I'm not going to say that they're wrong in their projections and wrong in their numbers, but I think it's pretty safe to say that everyone has underestimated the Toronto real estate market, as no one could have imagined that we would reach these heights and these numbers so soon, so quickly here in 2022. So the really interesting thing is that, we always talk about the supply, right? And, when there's a shortage of supply, prices, they just boost up, right? Which is what happened in January of this year. But in February, we actually saw quite a bit of inventory coming out, right? Not enough to slow down the demand, but enough to sort of tame the market and not let it get too out of control. In a short month of February, we almost doubled the amount of inventory coming out to the market, which to me typically signals that the spring market is about to begin. And this inventory was better than 2020 and 2019. Not better than 2021, but it's still pretty good for February. So it's just confounding, right? It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense anymore, because when the inventory is there, that's supposed to sort of level and stabilize the prices. But in this case here, that didn't happen. Properties went up on average 7% from January to February in 1 month. This is all just not really making a whole lot of sense anymore, even for me. Oh, my head hurts. I think I need an Advil. In total, for the month of February, Toronto and the GTA region did 9,097 transactions, which was higher than 2020, higher than 2019, just barely less than 2021. And so to me, it feels like there was some inventory coming out to meet that demand, but clearly it wasn't enough, as there was more buyers willing to pay more just to get into something and be done with it. And with properties going up 7% in one single month in a calendar year, that says a lot, guys. I'm not going to lie. So as we really start heading into the spring home buying season, which is typically the busiest time of year, the months between February, March, April, May, and June, we'll start to see more inventory come out. At least I hope we will. And then we hope that we'll see a little bit more of a balanced market as more of that inventory comes out to meet that demand. But the question really becomes, was the groundhog right? Is spring coming early? Because it's still pretty damn cold here. No. The ultimate question is, are prices going to keep going up the way they are, even in the spring market, even when inventory comes out to meet some of that demand? That's the big question here. It seems to be clear on both sides of the border, both in the US and in Canada, that in order to battle this inflation and to get the interest rates back to sort of where it was pre-pandemic, I think they're looking to try to reach the 2.5%, maybe 3% mark for interest rates. They don't want to raise them too quickly because that's absolutely going to destroy and crush the economy. But what they are signaling is that we are headed for a path of interest rate increases. It would be probably better and more advisable to get something done before the end of the year, when interest rates will probably be somewhat higher than they are now. And I will say that if you are still one of those holdouts who are criticizing the market, who are saying the
market's going to crash, it's going to fall apart, it's on a house of cards, everyone is going to tank, the economy is going to crash like the US did,
I would say, please, gently and respectfully, buy yourself a ticket, head over to Moscow, bunk with this gentleman over here, and stay with him for a while, because clearly you don't know what you're talking about in terms of the Toronto real estate market. You're either delusional or completely out of touch. So either way, this guy would be a great bunk partner for you. He's a really good roommate, I hear. But honestly, guys, get yourself in the market as quickly as feasibly possible. Work with the professionals here at Selling Toronto. We're going to make it happen for you, because this train is not stopping for anybody, and it really comes down to speed and timing now. And really, it's very simple. It's really just about getting in as early as you possibly can. No need to complicate things, guys. No need to overthink it. Just make sure you set your budgets, figure out exactly how much you're going to be able to afford, maybe tack on a little bit more money on top of that just in case, and start picking up your feet and looking at properties and working with your agent closely to figure out what's a good fit for you, your family, and your lifestyle. Because it's about to get a whole lot more interesting here in the Toronto and GTA housing market, which arguably I think is one of the most important housing markets in Canada and also in North America. I'll talk to you guys soon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, give us a like, leave us a comment. But if you're ready for personal, professional, and passionate service, then you definitely want to give us a call here at Selling Toronto. We would be happy to help you, guide you through this process, and hopefully find you a great place to live. So if you need fast, effective relief for your real estate troubles and needs, then look no other than Pete Lee at Selling Toronto. Look, we've even got our own Advil. Contact is in the description box below, also at the end of the video, and we look forward to hearing from you and working with you guys, and talk to you soon. Bye for now. Okay, so I know Canada, and here in the Toronto region in particular, we have one of the biggest Ukrainian communities and populations outside of Ukraine. And I just wanted to say to all of you who have family over there, or for those of you who are actually coming over here, we stand for you, we stand for democracy, we stand for everything that we believe in here in the West. And truth be told, if something like this were to happen here in Canada, we would all do the same things. We would send our women and our children somewhere else, and we would battle the hell out of this until our last breath. And so we're with you, we understand you. We wish we could do more, but we'll leave that to the government and the politicians to figure out. And for those of you who are coming over as refugees or with immigration status, as this is what we're hearing, Canada is a warm, well, not that warm, but I mean the people are warm, welcoming, and peace-loving country. And if your loved ones end up here, we assure you that Canada as a country will take great care of you, as they've taken care of so many other generations here in Canada over my entire lifetime. So the world is watching, and we completely condemn what's going on, what's happening with Russia in Ukraine. It's deplorable. It's totally unacceptable. It's not something that we stand for. The Russian troops need to go home before this escalates into something much, much bigger and much, much more powerful. Thank you, and God bless democracy. God bless Ukraine.